This is Dr. Omolola Omoteso, President, Cares Global Network, and Board Chair for Bola Memorial Watch Work with Widows Initiative, where we address the spiritual, social, mental, physical, as well as the economic need of disenfranchised widows. June 23 is the International Widows Day, IWD. It shares the same acronym with the International Women's Day. Both are commemorated by the United Nations, but done differently. In Nigeria, USA, and other countries, widows, those whose husbands died, still face all forms of abuse and dehumanizing widowhood rites and rituals. The situation is worse for widows who had no child or have adopted children with their deceased spouse. They are treated as outcasts, not worthy of any rights, dignity, or inheritance. The marriage certificate should cover every widow whose union to a man can be established, but this is not the case. Sadly, the officers of the court, the law, and the police help to entrench and expand fraud on widows by using different yardstick for widows and for widowers. We commemorate IWD, that's the International Widows Day, to draw attention to the plight of widows, address poverty, and advocate against injustice faced by widows and their dependents globally. But often the United Nations fail to come up with themes. This year, the theme appears to be accelerating the achievement of rights and dignity of widows. As a woman who faced the harsh realities of widow abuse in Nigeria and USA, there are 5 things leaders need to consider in order to end widow abuse. 1. Strengthen the marriage certificate. Make it a sufficient document for widows to carry on and serve as administrators, especially where marriage was a legal contract. 2. Criminalize widow abuse. Criminalize violence, disinheritance, etc. Every crime against widows should be punishable under the law. This will portray zero tolerance of abuse to perpetrators and prospective abusers and fraudsters as well. 3. The court's rights in estate administration should be limited to mediation or moderation, not takeover. Takeover of estate is a fraud, and courts should stop it. As I speak, all we owned, including properties and belongings, have been hijacked by the court or the Omoteso family. Over $900,000 from the sale of one of our homes was siphoned by the state of New Jersey without a penny to me as the widow of Bola Omoteso. Also, the past Nigerian government under which Bola Omoteso served gave me no kobo as compensation. He was invited to serve as financial advisor and died via medical negligence, yet no compensation was given. 4. Police officers should be empowered to jail abusers without option of bail, especially when there is apparent evidence of abuse. Till date, my brother-in-law impounded my Mercedes-Benz or my Mercedes, expensive things we bought to Nigeria, expensive things we brought to Nigeria, and he seized inheritance in a bid to send me into suffering. But thank God I'm not suffering. There should be government-funded agency or center for widows with policies to provide welfare and alleviate suffering, for widows. Also, there should be officers to advocate for widows. One policy I would suggest is that married men should be compelled to do a welfare plan for those earning income. For instance, a percentage should be put in such plan or such accounts, monthly or annually. And one way that the government can encourage this is at spousal death, at the death of a spouse, the government can actually pay 25% or between 25% and 50% or 100%, into such accounts that can be drawn, by the wife or the children. Well, to all those suffering, vulnerable, marginalized, abused, and disinherited widows, and even widowers, my charge to you is to trust God. Remain prayerful. On your skills. On your skills. Also, find appropriate allies and work hard. If God is leading you to remarry, go ahead and remarry. Go ahead and marry, if that is what God is leading you to do. But please protect your children, because nobody will go the extra mile to do that for you. I survived widow abuse, so I want to encourage you, do not stand alone. I survived by grace, and by God Almighty, you will survive and you will thrive. Thank you.